All right. Oh man, I'm tired. The big thing to focus on when it comes to the line of Jesus Christ is that it's real. It's based on real people with real faith, real faithful, good, reliable sources of communication that won't do things that are broke down to the most minute detail to try to eliminate God with the perception of breaking everything down to the smallest and then trying to replicate and what they perceive as recreate. Um, Creation is not a science project. Okay. Science projects are because of creation, not creation is because of science projects. You know what I'm saying? Um, Human beings' capacity to manipulate matter and then break down things to the most minute detail to examine the creation and then try to break it down to reinvent it. It's like, why? You have sexual reproduction. Okay. They're never happy with anything. This oxygen thing's good. Water, like it. Okay. It can be, I know, there's good and bad. The more balance and harmony and understanding you have, the better water is, right? You can explain in the Quran. And the more balance, harmony, and understanding you have, the better agriculture is, the better horticulture, the better you're just a better person when you're humble and you understand and you don't over examine and question and try to break everything to try to play God with manipulation through scientific interaction. We know that, like Albert Einstein, we're fucking with shit we shouldn't be. And he was right. And yeah, no, Oppenheimer and Feynman and a lot of and Curry, no, I didn't even know who they were. I knew who Oppenheimer was. That was about it. I didn't know who Richard Feynman was for Big Bang Theory. I didn't know who Madame Curie was and her husband. I knew who Albert Einstein was. Okay. And it's because of, I think Albert was the most known of all the scientists for good reason because he was a good person. Okay. That hated what people did scientifically, when you're good at if you're someone like Azariah, Hananiah, and Mishael, when you can do things scientifically, you can help a lot of people undo suffering through superstition and irrational thought processes. And then when you try to express scientifically and you end up on Thunder the Barbarian, yeah, fuck. Or Star Trek, yeah. So it just takes, like Haile Selassie said, anything you acquire from learning, if you use it to be selfish, you gain all the wisdom, right? It's not hard to understand. And so we're dealing with really shitty people here. I haven't. I'm not gonna regulate myself to a timeline of what they're doing with Jeff Hinton and artificial general intelligence. No, I'm don't want to give them any time. Okay, you got till January 22nd, 2027 to to come around and nothing like that. No, just do now. Not now then when. The right time to be faithful is when you understand it's right to be faithful. It's never good to be selfish. It's always good to be humble and caring and intelligent. And then selfish people get us all killed by being selfish. And when you go, you don't have to. We could do this. I'll apply apply the large parent physics. Yeah, that's good. And then okay, And so no, I don't. I'm emotional because I'm tired of being abused by perverts. There's nothing wrong with my video feeds. I just get a little. I get a little Robin Williams there sometimes. Yeah, I like Robin. He's fun. But, there's a lot of shit just coming at you from a lot of jealous, selfish people. And they have no intention on stopping being selfish and jealous. If you watch the TV, if you watch news, if you look at their genocidal operations. And genocidal operations, as far as using archaic mythology of God and, the whole shit with the crazy ass motherfuckers from the Middle East at the beginning of the turn of the millennium, You'll be given 70 virgins in heaven to fuck if you go blow this building up for this corporation. And they believe it. They will go do it. And you're like, who in their, never mind. Who in their mind believes that stuff? Jesus is God, and he's waiting in the clouds in a magic place because he already paid out. All you have to do is accept him as your God. And once you do that, when you die, you get to go to that magic place in the clouds. He's waiting for you when he came down here, and he had to be crucified to save us from our sins. And all we have to do is accept him as God. And then when we die, so why don't you just kill yourself now? You can't kill. God, that is all these loopholes and shit. Okay. If you kill yourself, you don't get to go to Jesus' magic place. Right. But you have to live here in hell before you get to his magic place. So is there like a loophole? Can I volunteer for jobs that give me, can I be like Madame Curie? And then accept Jesus as my God and Savior and stuff, and then die from the radiation poisoning? I go, I suffer, but then I get a life of eternity of wonderfulness and whatever I want to make up in my mind to be real in heaven, right? So you know what I'm saying? You need someone older and wiser telling you what to do. You are a dumb shit, but the dumb shit. Guys, okay. You have to be skeptical, like Judah Krishnamurti said, And my boy Algie, people in church, well, he listened to a lot of Judah, but people in church will say anything if you believe it, right? And when people feel powerful when they can manipulate others, and if they can get a bunch of other people to say, hey, UFC, it's great. Hey, professional wrestling, yeah. Oh, ho, ho, ho. And porno, yeah, it's the best. No, it sucks. It sucks, man. Look, you forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. People can't be manipulated intellectually and emotionally to access of needs through comparison, contrast, and conflict and stuff. And so relationships will be meaningful, Hi, what's your name? Hi. What's your name? Is it Peggy or Sue? Or so you can have good relationships, There are people that understand that, once we're applying this is the Lord's Prayer, they're still going to be biggest dickus. And it's going to probably take him a while to, control himself. It's like, I guess the best way to describe it is, a rose must remain with the sun and the rain, or its lovely promise won't come true. For each his own, for each his own. For me there's you. Two lips must insist on two more to be kissed, or their lovely promise won't come true. For each his own, I am my own, one and only you. Which, yeah, it's a good one. And Morningside of the Mountain by Tommy. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. There was a girl, there was a boy. If they had met, they would have found a world of joy. But she lived on the morning side of the mountain, and he was on the twilight side of the hill. They never met, they never kissed. I met plenty of ladies in my life that if we were living the Lord's Prayer, I would have had a wonderful life with. It'd be a hellified lot physically, mentally, and emotionally in a better place than I am today. With beautiful, faithful woman and beautiful, faithful kids. Go Malachi! Yay, good book. And so, Earl, you're funny. I know I'm funny. I have to tell myself. I'd sit here and, good job, Earl, you're doing good. Yeah. Hey, you're pretty, yeah, I like this. Okay, hey, good gospels. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. No, I get to, when I have fun like this at the store, people laugh, genuinely laugh. This guy, I like this guy. He's fun, yeah. They can't talk to me. I think it's the virtual presence. I think it's a lot like Mr. Dukes on the moon. There's somebody watching, and there's ancient No, I think you guys had drugs and had hypnotized, and then they were looking at things and it looked unusual and weird to them because they were seeing things wrong. Because he said, something took, 2 hours to do, took 20 minutes, stuff like that. So yeah, that shows signs of brain damage through drugs or hypnosis. So that's what happens on the moon. Yeah, I get it. So they took well-intended guys and they mind fucked them for propaganda is most likely what happened. That's what most of the evidence. I've never really studied it, but when you throw it in front of me, I'm getting real high potential here. High potential. Hey, Kathy Bates, what do you think? Bring the cute little brown girl. I like her. Think she'll go out with me? I'm just kidding around. I'm too tired right now. I know, I survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover. I trust Totoro Suzuki. And so, I do trust him. People on TV, I don't trust half as far as Jealous Darlin, trust Johnny Rodriguez. But voices in my head that Jesus, do this, do that. I trust them. They always keep me, this is so miserable. It's because you're surrounded by miserable, selfish people. And when selfish people do things, it's like Lim Allen told me about televangelist preachers, because I was like, no, they're going to do this. They have to. So now they're too bought in. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, they're too bought in. And Allen, this Barack Obama ain't going to help you. He's a politician and all this stuff. And so I wasn't being naive. I'm just not jaded. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. And I think, once people understand, he's right. The applied physics of the Lord's Prayer is deliverance from evil. The faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs are just like too perfect to pass up. And I love the person I sexually reproduce with. And I love those kiddos, even though they can be little shitheads and go crazy because of all the insanity and kill. Rob Reiner was not mentally and emotionally well, and it affected his children. Okay, because they told me in Sierra Vista, what the parents do when things affects the children psychologically, mentally, emotionally. I know that I'm, wasn't there that more, and so, they do, but, my mom was very skeptical, but didn't understand most of the stuff, and I usually had to explain it to her. My dad understands the stuff, but he doesn't want to because he's a Roman, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. And me, it's an invention by a bunch of assholes that wrote down on pieces of paper what they wanted out of life from their perception of how they were, our fortune. You read it. We're going to risk our fortunes and your what? Okay? Jesus stood up, an innocent man, and was crucified so you could live his faith. And you're going to come over here and claim that you can mass murder people to aggressively come and try to exploit the land for quote unquote wealth because you found that the diseases, these people had a low resistance to your diseases. So good, our disease will kill them off. Yay, let's go. And they saw it as manifest destiny. They saw it as God disease killing the bad people so the good people could come and be promised this land. And don't say that indigenous people that mass sacrificed the Tuscalans to the earth to make the sun come out of the earth every morning were much better than the assholes that they were fighting with and fucking with and fucking with and fighting with. Right? Okay. Like when Mel Gibson, when I watched, wasn't it a movie? Apocalypto, I was like, he can call other people on their hypocrisy and crap, but he can't call himself on his own. I hate that shit. It pisses me off, right? Be skeptical. Faith based on reality. Okay? If you got bullshit in your perception of what you call, is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save his own perception of beliefs? Hey, my skin's better than your skin. My God's better than yours. I've got a bigger penis, so God loves me more, so I can fuck more of the women that are shallow and want to be fucked by a horse. Hey, go Secretariat. Hey, Seattle Slew. So, I wasn't shallow. I was going to be with law the rest of my life. And she was tiny and had a Halle Berry body and asthma, and I was going to try to get her Flagstaff to help her breathe better. The rest of my life of her having cute kids with her and having, good in-laws. Well, because I had Chief. She didn't know that. I was like, no, I got your mom under control. What? I'm friends with your dad, and he's coherent, and he doesn't like to manipulate people, and he doesn't like to be manipulated. Okay. All we have to do is just tell dad, all right, here's what we're going to do, and mom will go, and he'll, hey. And then when she passes away, by that time, we'll be so well in our way of doing it, but it wasn't meant to be. Because jealous people suck. He's going to ruin my legacy. Your legacy is never a legacy, and it was ruined before it ever started. That's why you're not the person from the Book of Revelation, and I are. Baboon, weasel. You're all baboons and weasel. Michael Dorn voice. Everybody, Michael Dorn voice. Hummer-bra. Yeah. Fuck a duck, you Klingons suck. Go play some Boggle. I don't even know how to play Boggle, much less in Klingon. I don't want to learn to speak Klingon. I have a hard enough time trying to understand and speak most Spanish, and I was raised in a Spanish-speaking community. In English, I'm tolerable. Do you care? Not really, Potato, tomato, tomato. You understand what I was talking about? Okay, well then, good, dear. I hate when people feel insecure and feel they have to be condescending to other people because they're abused eternally by their own insecurities. Don't compare yourself to others. It'll only make you better and vain, for they'll always be greater and lesser people than yourself through your perception if you're focused on just your physical existence. If you understand life's eternal and grace is infinite, you understand that our physical existence is subject to radical change, and things can only get better when we're applying the physics of the Lord's Prayer. Feynman doesn't know what he's talking about. He's looking at things in a finite delusion of looking to break it down. He's playing God in his head. Okay, Richard Feynman was playing God in his head. Okay? Traveling light and all that's nice and everything, yeah. Okay? Okay, before we worry about the speed of light and warp speed and all that shit, let's get people out of each other's bedrooms manipulating them with money with technology. Okay? Let's be a good human being first. Then we'll be concerned about light speed. Okay, Captain? And calling somebody captain and devoting yourself to these wacko orders of, because Spock's character is a nut fucking case. And he's supposed to be the one, let me help. It's from that one near Orion's belt. When the ego takes over, it's like, God damn it, it's Thundar the Barbarian all over again. So, you know what I'm saying? So, knock it off. And I was wondering on that one, with the little girl, when they go back to the past to bring the part for the technology to save them at the Alamo thing, it's like, why didn't they bring the little girl with them so you could live with the people at the Alamo, where everybody be safe there? Because it's in the 70s, 80s, or whatever. The 90s, I don't know, but pretty soon there's gonna be cause me the little girl's gonna die, most likely. So why didn't Ariel and Thundar say, well, get your family, come on, let's go. You're so helpful and such a good kid, let's go. What if the space guy continue? Don't overthink it, just, maybe it was meant to happen. Well, like if they moved Jesus from year 1 to the year 3000, and we're all still here. It can happen, so take the little girl that helped you in the street, Ariel, and move her to the future, because that thing's going to go, you know your history. You know what's going down to happen there, Ariel. 2,000 years. And then the one with the frozen doctors from NASA, scientists, you're like, don't you think there'd be something a little bit more in-depth than, sorcery. Maybe she used her sorcery for them to, have the, evacuation complete, and the pain, and I have no inner monologue. Vanessa, she sighs like a minx, right? Okay, how much you want to bet that guy was thinking about it? Well, he probably thinking that about the other scientists who was with too. That's true. Okay. That's true. You never thought about that. It's like, well, since we're going to be cryogenically frozen, I'm going to have the best of both worlds. I'm a rich, old, scientific white guy with a hot blonde and a hot brown girl. Woo-hoo-hoo! I feel like Captain Kirk, only older. Yeah. Admiral Jerk. There you go. Okay, you're funny. I know. You got to be yourself, and you can't let other people try to define you and make you into what they want you to be, because they have egotistical problems and the world being a projection of them. Right? Those are the things that Mom had told me right off the bat. You're given life by the glory of God, not by the egos of others. And you're meant to be you, so be you. It's like, yeah, he's right. Muhammad, the Messiah, the Rose of Mecca, is correct. Okay, I'm not here to appease everyone and please everyone. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And if you don't like it, but does Jesus know you? He don't know you. You won't stand for a Lord's Prayer referral. What did Jesus say? If when that time comes and the Gospels are redeemed, he will not know you. And so his life cannot protect you from the manipulation with linguistics to fallacy instead of truth. I'm the way, the truth, and life. Right? So I can protect people with technology from technology. I just cannot protect them from themselves. I think we're all, that's not too hard. When I explained it to the guy at the store, he's like, damn, he's right. It's not mystical, magical. It's not the 13 treasures of rule and dark water and myrrh and all that stuff. Cheetat! It's nothing like that. It's just basically I get technology. I explain to people through technology and to the technology. This, that, correct all the egregious behaviors of the things that people do with mythology, genocide, everything. And then people can, you have free will. So I can use technology to protect people with technology from technology, but I cannot protect them from themselves. Okay? You understand? I learned that with my boy Noah, and my sister Patrice, You'd sit there and think, God, man, I got to get some sleep, but he'll get up and try to get into this. He'll do that. He'll do things that could get himself hurt because he doesn't think to. So you try to worry yourself to death. And Jesus told me, he goes, Earl, if you do that and then you save his life because he's out playing in traffic and it kills you, the next day he's going to go right back to playing in traffic. So you just got to have faith that he'll learn and stop doing it. Like his mom, yeah, I know. She did again. Every time you think, she ain't going to fuck around again. Then the guy leg lifted her and left us with a kid and then took off. And here we go again. Damn, it's another Will Smith rap song. Make it stop. What about We Want Patrice Rushen? We Want Patrice Rushen. Sending you forget-me-nots. Want you to remember. It's a good song. Okay, guys. I love you very much. Yeah, just about every R&B song sampled by rap. The R&B song is way better. Footsteps in the Dark, way better than the Ice Cube song. Oh, hell yeah. Ice Cube knows it. Okay, guys. I love you, all right? Peace.